Let's adjust that camera. It's probably gonna end up showing the Tecate boxing. We're Mexican, so it doesn't matter. So let's talk about the very first thing that I know you probably don't want to. Well, actually, you do want to talk about.
Probably.
Let's go ahead and talk about the Raiders' first round pick. How disappointed were you?
I was pretty disappointed. I mean, it's... So, I mean, there's a lot of discussion about it, you know, even though... Okay, first thing we'll go talent. Talent-wise, yeah, he's the top-level prospect, first-round corner. But with the pending charges against him, you know, the rape charges, you know, that's a serious charge. And, you know, from everything it looks like nothing's going to come of it, that it looks like the girl's being crazy maybe or something. And, you know, they keep saying they did enough investigation to where they believe that nothing's going to come of it. He passed the polygraph, so he's supposed to submit a DNA test sample. But, you know, to me, like, all this went down, just like a couple weeks before the draft. How could you possibly think you have all the facts
within a short amount of time?
Yeah. And it's not like they knew the day that it happened. The day it happened, bam, it came out. Like, they just barely started talking about this, within maybe about a week and a half ago or so. So unless Batman's on your team, you know, the world's greatest detective, there's no way you could possibly know all the facts. Maybe they think they do, but you weren't in the room.
Drugs going.
You weren't in the room, you know, so you don't know what happened. And, you know, he said he's going to submit a DNA sample, but he hadn't done it yet. Like, what if that comes back positive? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of questionable things that could happen. A lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Because, like, similar situations happen with guys like Justin Blackman. You know, it kind of just... It should leave a bad taste in a lot of NFL players or NFL owners' minds, and thinking, hey, maybe we could go a different route, because there were other corners. It's like the deepest year for the draft for corners in the league.
Yeah,
you could have gone with a lot of guys.
Could have went Kevin King. You know, to me, he's a top level corner.
Or even Trey Davis.
Yeah.
Trey Davis was still there.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I think he had just gotten picked, right?
No, Buffalo picked 3 picks after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he was still there. They could have even gone offense with Cam Robinson and kind of beefed up their offense more so.
Yeah. I thought with all those questions, you know, and it's, you know, maybe they thought it was a very small risk that anything happens to it.
Yeah.
But why even have the risk, you know, in such a deep draft? You know, like I said, maybe nothing does come of it. Maybe ends up being a legit pro. But this has the potential to, you know, to where it could blow up in your face. And when your team is so close, you know, they're very competitive. They're so close to being like on that Super Bowl level type team.
You can't really afford to make mistakes.
Yeah, why even really take that risk? Especially, like, to me, you know, Reuben Foster was there. The Raiders have a glaring hole at middle linebacker.
Yeah. There's so much you can do with, you know, outside linebackers like Khalil Mack that, you know, they're gonna the job for the middle linebacker is spying on the QB, making sure the running back doesn't get out of position, and making sure that the tight end doesn't sneak off and score a touchdown like Brady would throw to Gronk. You know, because that ends up being like Brady's favorite. And you guys will play the Patriots.
Yeah.
Is Brady's favorite is Gronk going up the seam,
yeah,
where they know that there's middle linebacker problems.
There's a potential to play him twice this year, you know?
Yeah, in the playoffs.
It just, to me, it seemed like the knock on Reuben Foster, like some of the medical stuff, was just ridiculous and I think overblown. They're talking about, he might need a second surgery, you know. I guess they're saying Nick Saban said that he was disappointed. He wanted him to go to see, I think, Dr. James Andrews, and he didn't. He had another guy do the surgery, and, you know, some teams feel he might need a second surgery. Reuben Foster said no.
Oh, a lot of
he's
teams.
almost fully recovered. You know, that remains to be seen, I guess. But
The Niners have stated that he doesn't need one. They're
Yeah.
like, nah, no, he's okay.
and it's, you know, we've talked about this that day. It's like, what player do you know that has had a career-ending shoulder surgery?
Yeah.
You know, like maybe a quarterback, you could say that, and you know, or maybe if he was older. But
Well,
look at
even then, a lot of guys are playing on quote unquote one leg anyways, either at
Yeah.
that position or any other position on defense. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense. Like,
Yeah.
like for example, J.J. Watt continues to play with like tennis elbow. It's the same thing
and
with
the bad
Gronk.
back, you know.
It's not like these guys are going out there and they don't know what they're getting themselves into. They know, and they continue to play through it.
Yeah. You know, I'd be more afraid of Sidney Jones and the Achilles than a linebacker with a, you know, with a shoulder injury. Like,
Yeah, especially
he's gonna
with-
heal fine from that. It's not like he's a pitcher or quarterback and he's gonna be throwing the
Throwing the
football.
ball.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, that was a little ridiculous to drop him that far down the board based off of that medical.
Or even a receiver, because like I know a lot of receivers were out for quite an extensive amount of time last year for a shoulder injury. You know, for needing to catch the ball. Like what was it? Eric Decker went on IR after missing 8 weeks of
Yeah.
football. And
Yeah.
believe me, I had him on my team, so
Yeah.
I know that it stung hard.
Yeah.
But it was like a shoulder injury. It's like an impinged shoulder or whatever it was.
Look at Drew Brees. Remember Drew Brees when he was on the Chargers? He had
Yeah, the shoulder.
Yeah, he ripped up his shoulder. Like I think it was
The
like on the
rotator?
last game or something
Yeah.
for them.
And they traded him
and
away
He,
to the
yeah, he
Saints.
was going to be like an impending free agent. And is anyone talking about the shoulder injury that Drew Brees had anymore? Or no.
No,
Like,
they're
you
talking
know.
about the Super Bowl he won 2 years later.
Yeah, teams probably talked themselves out of it. You know, like the Lions could have had him, and instead they went Dante Culpepper. You know, who
That was bad.
didn't really have a knee anymore. I don't think at that point. And,
Yeah, I think he had like 2 toothpicks put together. Just keeping his knee held in place.
So I mean, I don't know if there was. I think some people, aside from the medical, you know, the diluted urine sample is another strike. But when I first read diluted urine sample, I thought it meant like, oh, okay, he poured something into his urine sample, you know, like water or something to dilute it. It's like, no, he drank a lot of water before his piss test, and his urine came out with a higher concentration of water due to drinking water. Like, to me, like, why would that be a problem? And it's like, no, well, it means he was drinking gallons of water for a drug test. And it's like, did he pass the drug test? Did you find any drugs in your urine? It's called a drug test, not a water urine, you know, concentration test. Like, he drank a lot of water, so what? Like,
Well, that's what anybody does. I mean, especially if like you feel like you want to be healthier. I mean, if you drank like a gallon and a half of water within a 24-hour period, your urine's going to be super duper clear. Everybody knows that. Why should you knock somebody for that?
Yeah.
Doesn't make- I don't. There's no justifiable reason to say, "Oh, this guy was hiding something."
yeah.
I mean,
It
if you
doesn't.
drink-
I mean, maybe he did. Maybe he did something. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean that he didn't, though. It doesn't
Plus-
prove that he did. Like,
Plus, everybody knows if you want clean urine for a drug test, you drink cranberry juice.
so there's that. And then some people are talking about how during the medical evaluation during the combine, you know, how he was sent home because he ended up going off on that nurse or something.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, so you have a problem with your middle linebacker being a meanie pants? Is that what it is? Like,
We're being tough.
who wants a nice middle linebacker? Like, I want my middle linebacker to be one of the roughest, nastiest dudes on the team. Like, I want him to decleat somebody and leave him laying there. Like, you know, you don't really want your middle linebacker to be
Same
some
thing.
friendly guy and
Please and thank you.
helping people up off the ground all the time.
Like Andrew Luck. Oh, dude.
Yeah, it's
Like
you know
every,
what
every
the
time
type of-
every time he gets sacked or tackled, he says, "Oh, thank you for the tackle."
yeah.
That's dumb.
The type of middle linebacker, like when I think like mentality, like I kind of like the Bill Romanowski, like you know Ray Lewis type, like
The crazy dudes.
yeah. I want them a little crazy, like
Intense.
the ones that really think that they're on a battlefield.
Yeah.
You know,
Like it's
like
real war.
and so to me might be a plus thing that like okay, he's
I
not
really like that guy.
You know, is that a negative to say he's not a nice guy like for a
Well,
linebacker? Like,
You know what's funny is that after you said it at the draft that they basically got Patrick Willis back.
Yeah.
Like he unretired, found the fountain of youth, and came back. Everyone has been saying that
yeah,
because it's true.
Yep.
It's like a legit thing. He
legit
plays just like him.
comparison. Yeah, he can, you know, stop the run. He can cover. You know, they can blitz him if they want. Like that dude does it all.
Yeah.
Like that type of linebacker. You know, who was like a top 5 prospect, middle linebacker. I mean, you see top 5 outside linebackers who are expected to be like an edge rusher and blitz all the time. When's the last time you seen someone who was like a bona fide top 5 prospect that was a middle linebacker?
It's
Like
rare.
real middle linebacker. Like it, you know, those don't
like
come
a
along all
legit
the
one.
time.
Like you take it back 6 years, it was Patrick Willis, and you take it back 6 more years, it was Ray Lewis, and you know that's who you talk about. You talk about those guys.
Yeah, I think Kuechly is probably one of the last ones too. I can't remember exactly when he was picked. I think he was picked like at number 9 or something like that. I could be wrong, but
Something like that.
you know, he was another guy who was picked kind of early too.
Yeah, he's a guy
talented
that
prospect.
you look at, you know, as a consistent player to play that position and be successful at it. You know, not just we need to plug some guy in there who's a big body. You know,
Yeah.
who are some of the other guys that you liked, that you actually liked that the Raiders did pick?
So a lot of people talk about our second rounder. Everyone's calling him Obi-Wan Kenobi now. You know, he's got big size and everything. You know, he ripped it up on the combine. That's no surprise that the Raiders still love, you know, the combine killers. That's good. You know, I mean, you can coach him up some. You know, I saw a few negative plays where he kind of maybe shied away from like contact on a few things here and there. You don't really want that out of your safety. But there's talks that he could possibly be converted into corner also, which would be an insane size for that.
As a corner?
Yeah, but you know, some people have been talking like that'd be a good move. Like if they're thinking ahead with some of these tight ends, you know, that are in the AFC West or just the AFC period. You know, a lot of the playoff teams have legit tight ends. You know, I mean, you got Gronk, you got Tyler Eifert in Cincinnati.
We got the Chiefs who have
Kelsey.
yeah, Travis Kelce.
The Broncos, I mean, I think they got a sleeper with Jake Butt. So
Butt.
that, you know, that's something that they might have to
He said
cover down the road. The AFC there's a plethora of tight ends, especially all, you know, the real contenders, I believe so.
He said, "But
Yeah.
I thought that was the funniest pick because when I saw it, I had to do a double take, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, dude, this dude's real name is Butt. It's not Butte.
Yeah, not
Butt.
Butte.
It's actual Butt.
No, not Butte.
Who do you think had the worst draft?
Oh, man. Well, before that, I'll add one more Raider pick. Elijah Hood, 7th rounder.
Oh yeah.
I kind of had him written down like on my board of players, like for our dynasty league that we play in, like to kind of watch where he went.
Keep an eye on.
You know, I thought he's better than the 7th round prospect. Good power back with Marshawn Lynch on, you know, pretty much a 1-year deal. You don't know how it's going to go. Like he could kill it and he could stick around another year. You never know, or he could just be one and done. Nobody knows. You know, I think was he 30 also, 31?
31.
So, you know, you get this power back to replace Lynch, and let's say Lynch doesn't work out. I think he will.
It's possible.
But let's say he doesn't, or let's say, you know, something happens, he gets an injury, at least you have another power back on the team. So even though he's a 7th rounder, I think he's going to make the team. The very least, I'd say practice squad, but I think even if they did that, someone else might swoop him up.
Yeah, pick him up.
So I think you got to carry 4 running backs this year. That's one I like. But to go back to your other point, worst draft, I think everybody
knows who it is.
Everyone's talking about the Bears.
Yeah, that's bad.
Bears fans will tell you the same thing. I'm sure everyone saw those reactions on YouTube and SportsCenter.
But they're just looking around like,
reacting to Mitchell Trubisky. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Go look on YouTube. It's a good laugh. It's it reminded me. It was nearly the equivalent of the Seahawks, Russell Wilson passing it on the goal line instead of giving it to Lynch, like those fan reaction videos.
But they're looking at it and they're just anticipating, and then they see it unfold, and it's kind of like watching a train wreck in slow motion.
That did not happen. That did not happen. And they gave up, was it 2 3s and a 4 to move up one spot
to get him?
Yeah. To get him.
That's what makes it worse.
The Niners weren't going to take him. They were not going to take him. They,
I don't think there were.
I think they even came out and said, they had said Solomon Thomas and Reuben Foster were number 2 and 3 on their board, and of course Myles Garrett was 1 on the board. So when they drafted Reuben Foster, they said that they had the 3rd best guy on their board. That's why they went up and got him. They weren't going Trubisky, which I don't think they should have either. The fact that the Bears didn't just wait it out, and maybe they were scared someone else was going to trade up. But look at how much a team would have to trade up to do
just
it
to
get to that spot.
It's not worth it.
Any intelligent team would know that it wasn't worth it. Like for a guy that had 13 career starts, like I get it if you just tore it up. Like Cam Newton. He only started 1 season, but he tore it up. He won a championship.
Yeah.
Trubisky inherited a team that was already, pretty good. I think they'd been to the AC Championship the year before, and they didn't go back. They didn't do anything special. He's just one of those players, to me, that comes along every year that just shoots up the draft boards like a quarterback. It's just like no one's talking about him during the college football season at all.
No.
And then as the season's almost over and people start doing mock drafts, someone's like, oh, I like this Mitchell Trubisky guy. And then other people start liking them, and
that's one of those situations where that I think the Chicago Bears got themselves too caught up in stargazing, and they allowed themselves to listen to the hype of what their needs were, as opposed to picking the best player available. Yeah. And instead of picking the best player available, they went based on need. And anybody knows, whether it's actual NFL or you're playing fantasy football, even if you have a need, you don't pass up the best player.
Yeah, especially when you have legit holes on your team. Like
it's like,
I get it. Like if your team is nearly fully stocked, the only time I kind of think sometimes teams should move up really for that need. Like if there's an elite quarterback prospect,
yeah,
then okay, that makes some sense. They gotta be elite though, because you give up all kinds of picks to get there, and you don't the player doesn't pan out, set your franchise back years, and you're probably getting fired. But other than that, the only time I think teams should really try to move up for need is, let's say you're a legit stacked team, and maybe you just need like a corner or you need a linebacker, and you're picking towards the end. Move up, get the player you need that can help you win that championship.
Yeah, and if you think about it, a lot of quarterbacks that are picked in the first round, they're not on teams anymore.
Yeah. How many of these quarterbacks that were taken in the first round, how many of them are going to be busts?
Like Christian Ponder?
Yeah, that's, yeah.
That's just to name one. You could go back and name a lot of guys who are, like for example, let's make the argument for Phillip Rivers. He was picked in the first round. But you look at his track record of success, it's not good. And he's probably like one of the better of the less than mediocre draft picks that are picked in the first round. What do you shoot for? Do you shoot for, okay, I just want a quarterback who is going to make people happy? Or are you wanting to go and win a Super Bowl?
Yeah,
you want to win a Super Bowl.
I don't really get what they seen on video that made them think like this is the guy that you give up.
So the future picks.
All of this, all these picks to get. It's just like I said, especially with next year's draft class of quarterbacks. Next year's draft
be
class, legit. Yeah. You're gonna especially you want to know who some of the top quarterbacks coming out next year. Assuming they do, go take a look at the Pac-12 quarterbacks. There's gonna be like 3 of them that are probably like first rounders. Probably you got Sam Darnold, Jake Browning, Josh Rosen.
Easily top 10.
Yeah, those
could be top 5.
Sam Darnold looks like he could be number 1. Jake Browning, you know, especially with then Washington getting into the playoffs last year, getting some national exposure. That's one thing that university hasn't really had a whole lot. Pretty much some of the Pac-12 teams, aside from USC or maybe Oregon, don't get a lot of big time exposure.
And it should be something that NFL teams should learn from, is that a lot of quarterbacks who are successful winning Super Bowls are in the second round, the third round.
Yeah, it happens.
Even the fifth and the sixth round.
Less risk involved with especially less risk of you losing your job as a general manager.
Craig Wallen, we're looking at you.
Yeah, if you wait for that quarterback to come to you, sometimes that's the best thing you can possibly do.
Yeah, it's kind of let them fall to you.
Yeah, the Raiders got Carr in the second round. Drew Brees was a second round pick. It happens, and not all of these first rounders are. Now I got my quarterback of the future. It's solid. No, it's not.
Yeah, the days of feeling like you're forced to draft a quarterback with the first pick overall are gone. It just doesn't happen because there are a lot more first overall picks who are quarterbacks that just don't pan out. Who was it? It was we can name Ryan Leaf and Jamarcus Russell all day, but then you got guys like Sam Bradford, who were picked within the first 5. They're just bad. Yeah. Mark Sanchez, he's not your guy.
No.
I don't care how much ESPN wants to tell you he's your guy. He's not your guy. Not butt fumble. The Super Bowl winning quarterbacks are going to be in the second and the third round because they have something to prove. I think they want to go out there and win.
Yeah, it's hard to when these quarterbacks get drafted with the top 3 or 4 picks. Most of the time they're going to a really bad team.
Yeah.
Unless someone traded up a bunch of picks to come and get them. Most of the time they're going to a really bad team. Nothing to help them out. So I think when you do these things, you're fully investing in this quarterback. You're not just saying. You got to put the right tools around them for that player to succeed. If you do, say, like what the Texans did, with David Carr.
Yeah.
And you just, you don't help him out with the O-line and all that stuff.
Yeah, you just kind of leave him out there.
You just sunk your own pick, and you lose your job.
You left him in the deep end and you tied a gigantic boulder to his back and just let him just lay there at the bottom of the pool. Yeah. That's the one thing that's bad.
And then I don't know if you saw Steve Smith was arguing with who's the Charlie Casserly.
Oh yeah,
he was arguing. They were arguing about David Carr during the draft this past weekend, and I loved it because Steve Smith wasn't pulling no punches. He was just basically like, "You guys let that guy down." You gave him nothing. He was every time he dropped back to pass, he was getting killed. So instead of looking, being able to look downfield as receivers, he always kind of had to have his eyes down and see where he's about to get drilled at, So
it was unfair.
Yeah, that's a good video to watch.
And he lived through it. He witnessed it. He played against it. He saw it all the time, and the Texans just left him out. And it wasn't like it is today, where you have a quarterback like David Carr, and he's unsuccessful for 2 years. No, he was there for a long ass time, and they should be put in jail for assault for allowing somebody.
They're breaking records for most sacks given up, and it's just It
was a great time for fantasy football defenses. All you have to do is just pick somebody up going up against the Texans.
Yeah, it's that's why you really, when you invest in these quarterbacks with an early rounder.
Yeah.
You got to be able to put the right tools and people around them. So in this situation with the Bears, when you trade a bunch of picks, those are assets that you needed to use to reinvest in this quarterback.
Yeah, those are times where you look at it and you're like, okay, look, why am I going to give up these picks? Because these picks are going to be O-line and tight ends that could help block for a quarterback that we do have right now. Yeah. Even if it's a quarterback you don't want, don't throw away future seasons just because you want to get a guy that might be good. It goes back to that. Don't take the risk on somebody that is unproven.
People. I don't know, especially. No, it seems like a lot of general managers like they don't think long term when it comes to say like the quarterback position. Like if they need one, they're like, I have to get one now. I have to get one now. Like you could have a full draft, where every quarterback is blind in one eye, missing 3 fingers on their throwing hand.
29 years old.
They could all have these things against them, and I swear to God, the teams that need a quarterback will still draft it because it's like, oh, this is the best available quarterback that's this year. I'll use my first or second round pick on it. When it's like, dude, look at next year's class. Look ahead. Like some franchises, like you're close. Get that quarterback now. They might actually help you now and help you win. But when you're just missing all kinds of pieces, like why are you thinking that? To me, that's short term. Mm-hmm. You're trying to you're aiming for this inferior quarterback to help you get to like 7 or 8 wins. So you're not like, well, we improved from 3 wins last year. Yeah, like are you trying to
it's a false
just, satisfy the owner and like, maybe try and keep your job? Or do you want to be the best? If you want to be the best GM, like I think you got to think like long term, like
because like the same amount of picks that they spent to trade up to get a less than mediocre quarterback, they could have done the exact same thing the next year and given up identical picks for a really great quarterback.
Yeah.
Somebody who's better than what you have. Don't waste anything on mediocrity. You should never waste anything on mediocrity. You should go for the best every time. And if you fail, you fail. So what?
When you've got a whole bunch of holes, like you're not gonna plug them all right now. So just pick some of the best players available. If they help out a position of need, great.
It's good advice when you're on the bar too.
Yeah, but let's say there was teams that needed a cornerback, a couple years ago. Say like the Browns or whatever. You're like, okay, we can sink our first round on this dude who's he's okay, but next year's class is like a million times better. Like every cornerback, like to me, like the 3 quarterbacks I named earlier. To me, all of them are probably better quarterbacks than all of them that came out in the draft this year.
Yeah.
So when you're a team like the Browns, I give them some praise for not just reaching for a quarterback because they need one, and that's the pick that people are telling them to do.
Yeah.
They traded back, got a gang of picks. They drafted one in the second round. Maybe he works out. Cool. If he does, great. If not, then I don't think they're completely married to him to where they can't, let's say they end up with the worst record and Sam Darnold's there at number 1.
Well, dude.
And they take Sam Darnold, and it's not like they're like, well, we just drafted Kaiser in the second. Like they didn't give up any extra picks for him or anything. I think that was an extra pick for them probably.
Where was it that Kaiser went? Did he go? Well, he went to the Lions, right?
No, Deshaun Kaiser went to the Browns.
Went to the Browns.
Yeah, they drafted him in the second.
They still got a quarterback.
Yeah, they still got a quarterback.
It's not like they wasted anything.
None of them. Of all the quarterbacks, none of them had like all these, big time qualities where they're like, oh yes, like to me, we're like, yeah, this is the guy. He's gonna be a stud. The only one who I think I like more than any of the rest of them was probably Deshaun Watson, just because he's won on these big stages and against really good teams. Like I don't like the interceptions. I'm sure a lot of GMs and scouts don't like it either. That's something that to me, I think that can get better when you start learning more and more how to read a defense, reading different coverages and schemes, and
knowing where to place the ball based on where the defense is going to be at a specific time.
I think it's one thing if you throw a lot of picks just because you're inaccurate. That's inaccuracy is harder to fix, but when you make bad decisions, I think
that's a different story.
Decisions can be fixed a little bit. If you get coached up, you'll learn those. Like Peyton Manning, his rookie year, he threw like 20-something picks.
Yeah, and everybody was trying to make the comparison between him and Ryan Leaf at that time, and saying, "Oh, now you know that Ryan Leaf is a way better quarterback than Peyton Manning." And then you look at the remainder of their careers, and it's like, Peyton Manning is the guy. He was the guy we knew he was going to be. Yep. So, no.
And then going back to the surrounding your team with assets type thing, like with the Bears with their second round pick, you think, okay, they got to get something else to help them out. and then they got the Division II tight end is Ed Shaheen. Is that his name?
I think that's how you
Or
pronounce
Adam
it.
Shaheen.
Adam
sorry.
Shaheen, yeah.
You know, he looked good on the highlights that I saw. Big guy, you know, but at the same time, like he was at a D2 school.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he may not turn out to be a solid pro or great or anything like that, but to take that type of risk on someone who only played Division II college is such an early pick. It's to me, it's like one of those guys who they saw the tape of and like, oh man,
He looks phenomenal.
I gotta have this guy.
But you know, it's one of those things where you can look phenomenal against other guys who look phenomenal, or you can look phenomenal against guys who just look like crap.
Yeah,
You know, it's the age old Mike Tyson patting his record against tomato can thing. You know, who are you basing all of this level of success against?
yeah.
You know, it's different if they're going up against really tough defenses or offenses.
I mean, teams get criticized, or players get criticized if, say, you know, even D1 players that play like against a weak conference, you know, like say, you know, a player from Boise State, like, oh, well, he didn't go up against great play, or you know, a player from San Jose State, like, oh, they don't play in a tough conference or whatever. They get criticized, and you know, those guys fall sometimes.
Hard.
You know, it just didn't make any sense to me to probably reach that early, especially in the deep tight end draft.
Yeah, there were a lot of them out there. And dude, did you hear that after the Browns made their pick, they I think it was like, I think it might have been the next day. I want to say it was sooner than that, but they dropped their tight end. What's his name?
Oh, Barnage.
Yeah.
Gary Barnage.
Gary Barnage.
Yeah.
They dropped him like immediately.
Yeah, they drafted Njoku and they cut Gary Barnage. I was kind of surprised just because, I mean, the Browns need help.
It's not like Barnage didn't have success last year. He had like 8 touchdowns?
He had success whenever he had someone decent throwing on the ball.
Yeah.
You know? So.
But that goes to the other point where, who is it? It was Martavius Bryant who sent out a tweet after Juju Smith-Schuster ended up getting drafted, and in the tweet he goes, "Looks like they're trying to replace my boy Sammy Coates."
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh well, that happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Can't blame a team for doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to be successful. They're trying to put pieces together that are gonna fit.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't fit, you're gonna be on your way out.
Yeah,
It's not their fault.
It's all about competition at that level too. Like,
It's like what we talked about before. You know, sports are a very competitive driven field.